Testing 1, 2, motherfucking 3, motherfucking 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1. What the fuck is up? It is your host, Erica Nalen, and welcome back to another episode of the Hangover series. Hello, motherfuckers, and welcome back to the motherfucking Hangover series. We are back, and we are better than ever. Or worse than ever. I'm not actually sure. I think I might be feeling a drift of good and bad. I almost poured myself a glass of wine before I sat down today, and then I was like, bitch, if you don't put that fucking wine bottle back in the fridge, like, you do not need wine. You do not need wine. You don't need any alcohol near you. I just got off of basically like a 6-day bender. So that is a long bender. It was more like 5, but that's still a lot of time, and I don't need wine until this upcoming weekend. I was thinking about not even drinking this upcoming weekend, and then I was like, I can't not go to something, you know? So I'm going to be going to something. I'm going to be drinking. It's National Rum Day this weekend, or like today or something. National Rum is happening. Rum is becoming national. So that's what I'm doing this upcoming weekend. But anyways, besides the point, I'm also wearing this sweater that says Budweiser on it, and I kind of feel like I'm overheating right now. I have literally never put this sweater on my body in my entire life. It has never touched me. I remember when I saw it online at PacSun, I was like, that is so vintage. That is so cool. That is so cute. I need that. And it was a men's sweater, so when I ordered it, I got like a large, thinking it would be like extremely oversized and like extra cute. And when I got it, it fit me so tightly, like a glove. So I don't know what that says about me or about them. And I don't want to look further into it, but I don't know why I put it on my body today. I was wearing a sweatshirt, and then I was like, let me wear this Budweiser sweater in 90-degree weather. That's what I'm doing. I'm also sitting on the floor in the corner of my bedroom. I'm leaning against my window, which honestly concerns me a little bit. My apartment is so weird that it would not surprise me if this window broke and I fell through it. So thank God I have video recording going on right now. So in case that happens, you know, I have proof that it was the apartment's fault. I'm also concerned about sitting here because I feel like I've had a lot of critters coming into my apartment recently, like critters as in like bugs that need to be outside and they should not be indoors. The little like spider bugs that are literally made to be outside. Like, I don't even think they want to be inside. They like just look like they belong outside. It's like a specific kind of spider, and they're obsessed with my bedroom. And I might have exaggerated a little bit when I wrote a maintenance note. I said that there were 25 plus. I think I meant like there were 15 plus, but I just wanted them to like really come and do something about it. And I wrote like, I don't know if you guys need to spray or if my windows just need to be tightened, but they are obsessed with my bedroom. And 2 days later, I get a phone call, and it's from an exterminator, and he's like, I'm here to exterminate the 25 plus spiders in your bedroom. And I'm like, oh, okay. I might have been exaggerating. Like, I don't know if it's that or if the windows need tightening and what tight. I don't know how to say that word. And he did some spraying. He actually sprayed our whole apartment. And I still have seen spiders. So I have a feeling that they just need to tighten our windows a little bit. You know, I feel like that needs to happen. Because I remember in the winter time when I moved in, it was very cold in here because the windows were like half open. Am I talking weird right now? I feel like I'm kind of talking oddly, but I'm just not going to pay attention to it. I'm kind of sweating right now. It's really loud outside. I feel like when 5 p.m. hits, people get fucking loud outside. They get crazy. They get loud. You know, it's like after work. People are seeing people they know. It's just, the vibes are wild out there. My roommate just left to go to volleyball. So I was like, let me sit down and record. She asked me if I wanted to come play. I'm like, absolutely the fuck not. I used to enjoy playing the sand of the volleyball, but I don't know what happened. I have this weird analogy. Is it an analogy? I don't know. I feel like when I play on volleyball teams, everybody hates me because I don't really put in a lot of effort. I'm more there just to like socialize and drink. So I'm not the best player. And I don't really like to like dive into the sand and get sand all over my body. Like it's just not who I am. And I feel like people that we've played with before get like so into it and their like buttholes are in the fucking sand, like digging a hole. And mine isn't. So I feel like they get annoyed and they want me to be digging like they are, and I'm just not into that. So yeah, I was like, no, I don't want to play this year. So I feel like I'm sounding a little bit sad right now, but I'm really not. I'm just like, I think I ate too much bacon, ranch, cheddar, jalapeno dip today. And like sometimes when I buy a dip at the grocery store that is so good, like so good, and the ones that are always so good have so much dairy in them. Every time I buy a delicious dip like that, I like eat so much of it and then I become so tired. So that's kind of what I did today. I had like no groceries and then I bought the bacon jalapeno cheddar fucking dip and I devoured it and now I'm so sleepy. But I think it also might be mixed with the 6-day bender. Also, I'm sitting on the floor because my friend left yesterday, and whenever I have a guest here, like, I just have so much to do afterwards. I did like 7 loads of laundry today, and I still have like 2 more to go. So we also have very small washing machines, but I had to wash all my sheets, all these towels, and then apparently I just like wore a fuck ton of clothes this week. I don't know. Some of the things that I was washing today, I was like, when did I even wear that? When did I wear that? Like, I'm so confused. If you guys saw the state of my room behind this camera, you would be like, what the actual fuck? It looks bizarre in here, but don't worry. I'm going to get it back together tonight. But this past weekend was Lollapalooza weekend. If you've never been to Lollapalooza, I honestly highly recommend it. It is so much fun. There's such good food, such good vibes, such good music. It's just really fun. If you asked me how I felt about it like 2 years ago, I would have a completely different opinion and I would be like, that was the worst place to ever go. I will never go back there. But I've been back twice since and I have had a very successful, fun time since. For some reason, every time I told someone I was at Lollapalooza, they're like, who did you see? Like my therapist saw her yesterday and she's like, who'd you see at Lollapalooza? And like, why am I blank on answering that? I'm like, Sabrina Carpenter. Like, that's all I know that I saw is Sabrina Carpenter, and that's all I cared about. And they're like, well, who else did you see? I'm like, I don't know if I saw anyone else, which I did see other people, but genuinely, I don't even know if I knew who they were. I think I'm just like blanking. Like sometimes when I have this long of a week, I just forget everything that happened. But one of my best friends that I have known since high school flew in this weekend to stay with me for about a week for Lollapalooza. And this was her first time going to Lollapalooza. So she was very excited. I was very excited. She had very cute outfits. I didn't plan any outfits. I just kind of wore shit that I had because last year when I tried to plan all my outfits, they never came and then I was upset. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wear things that are in my closet. And that way I can't get upset if nothing shows up. Like I don't want to get excited about wearing an outfit and then it not come. So I just wore things that I had. I wore some cowgirl boots and that was that. Day 1 of Lollapalooza came around. I think this was on Thursday. And my friend wanted to get like the whole experience in. So we got to Lolla at like 12 p.m. I think it opens at like 11 a.m. We got there at 12 and then it basically ends at like 10:30, I think, 10:30, 11. And we got there so early and we pre-gamed before, but I was telling one of my friends that was coming, I was like, don't pre-game that intensely because we're going to be there until like 11 p.m. Like that is like 11 hours of drinking. Like you don't want to drink a ton right now because we're going to be drinking all day and we have to be able to keep up, you know? Like, we got to be able to make it to the finale. Like, this is a sprint. No, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. I've never used that quote in my whole life, but I was just like, this is a marathon. Don't drink too much. And my friend was like, well, can I take like 3 shots before we leave? Plus, we had a bottle of mimosas. And I'm like, I'm not here to stop anyone from that. So my friend had 3 shots and we had some mimosas. I had a shot and some mimosas because, as much as it might not seem like, since I'm the one with the Hangover series podcast, you know, it might not seem like I would be the responsible one of people, but I promise you guys, like, when it comes to responsible drinking, I would like to vote myself as a very responsible drinker on most occasions. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty responsible drinker, and I just, like, don't like to get super fucked up where I don't remember anything or where I don't know what's going on. Like, that is not something I ever enjoy. So I would like to say I'm a pretty responsible drinker. I think I was just going with the fact that, like, this was my friend's first Lala. In the back of my mind, I was like, she will probably get hammered, so I need to be a little bit responsible because we can't both be super hammered, you know? You can never both be hammered or, like, things just don't go well. Also, there's a car sound beeping outside right now very loudly, and, like, I'm excited to hear if we can hear that. But anyways, my friend had a ton of shots before we left, and we were also sneaking in alcohol because I don't know if you know this, but it's extremely easy to sneak in alcohol into concerts and anything of this sort. You buy these little, like, plastic bags on Amazon and you stick it somewhere and nobody gives a fuck because they can't see it. You can stick it in your back, you can stick it in your pants, you can stick it in your boobs, wherever you want to put it. You know, no one is gonna know. I saw people, like, hid alcohol bottles, like, weeks before under the mud and under the grass, or like a year before or something, and then they picked it up inside. I saw another girl snuck in, like, frozen chicken nuggets. Like, she taped chicken nuggets to her legs and brought them inside. So the world's your oyster with that one. So we also brought alcohol inside, and the day began. The drinks, I'm pretty sure, were not as expensive as last year, but I might be making that up. But last year, you could buy, like, a whole entire bottle of wine, which is kind of bizarre. You could buy a whole bottle of wine and just drink it. And I'm pretty sure I had so many of those last year. And I knew something was off when we were there Thursday. Like, I felt like when I was reading the sign of what I wanted to order, like, I was like, something seems off about this. Like, who am I looking for? And then I saw on TikTok that they're not selling bottles of wine anymore. And I was like, fuck it. I knew that I was looking for Kim Crawford on the fucking wall and she wasn't there. So I drank a ton of, like, vodka neutrals and, like, Bud Light seltzer things, which, like, who knew Bud Light sold seltzers? Like, I feel like they should stick to beer. But we had some of those, and then eventually we started just drinking, like, lemonades and putting our own vodkas in them. I was also drinking water. Like, I was being very responsible, okay? It was also really hot out, and, like, I don't like to be drunk in, like, the heat. Like, I get headaches, and it just bothers me. All of a sudden, we are at this EDM area. I think the stage is called Perry's, and we're in this area, and I'm like, where's my friend? And I look over, and my friend is, like, twerking on everybody. And I'm like, what the hell? And she was having a blast. And she's speaking to us, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, how did she get so hammered all of a sudden? Like, we were all grooving and vibing, and then I'm like, what happened to my friend, and how is she so hammered? And I'm like, are you okay? Like, we should probably drink some water. It's only, like, 2 p.m. We just got here. And my friend, she's okay. She's having a good time. And I look over, and she's drinking a beatbox. And I'm like, I don't even remember when you got a beatbox. I didn't even know they sell beatboxes here. Like, where did you get this beatbox? And she bought it there, and she chugged the entire beatbox, like, literally the entire beatbox. And if you know anything about beatboxes, they are, like, extremely high in alcohol percentage, and they get you really drunk. I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, no, they do. They get you really drunk. I think I've only had one, like, one time, but she chugged that beatbox. And she was so drunk off this beatbox that we were like banning her from alcohol. We were like, you are not allowed to drink for at least an hour and a half. Like, let's give it an hour. Let's give it an hour and a half. We bounced around. We saw Gracie Abrams. She was amazing. We were all crying. My really drunk friend was like, whoever cries first has to buy a round of shots for everybody. I'm like, I feel like we're all going to be crying first. We did not take shots because she was still bound. She was still what? She was still banned from alcohol at this point, so we did not take shots. And we were all crying, like a lot. I was also laughing because my friend was kind of struggling to like, she was able to stand, but she just likes to move around a lot. So she was like dropping her phone on the floor, and then she would like a little bit bump into someone. And she was just being silly, and we were just locked arm in arm. I think at one point she turned to me and she was like, this lady in front of me hates me. And I'm like, did she say that? And she's like, yeah, she told me that she doesn't like me and that she thinks I'm annoying. And I'm like, she said that to you? And we just like missed it. And she's like, yeah, she said that to me. And then the next morning when we went over all of this, she was like, I don't even think she said that to me. And I'm like, well, you know what? I was ready to defend her. I was like, you do not call my drunk friend annoying, okay? But once that ended, we went somewhere else. I think my friend ended up like getting another drink. You know, you can't like really ban someone from drinking. Like you can, but like also as an adult, like I'm not here to tell you that you cannot have another alcoholic beverage. You know, I'll ban you for like an hour, but then at that point you have to make your own decisions. And my friend definitely made her own decisions right when I was like, okay, fine. Like, I don't care. You can have another drink. Just like, don't chug it. She was sprinting to the alcohol line. She's like, let me get another neutral. I'm just like, at least no more beatboxes. Like, you can get anything, but you cannot get a beatbox. Okay? She gets a neutral. We're having fun. We all have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, do not chug that drink. Like, let's take it easy. She runs to the bathroom. We're all in the bathroom, whatever. She's taking her sweet ass time, which is totally fine. Like, take your sweet ass time, but like 20 minutes go by. I'm like, what is she doing in the bathroom? Like, is she okay? So we're like knocking on the door and she's like, yeah, I'm coming, whatever. We open the door. She takes the large ass drink that we just bought. She crinkles it up in her hand and she chucks it on the floor and she's like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, did you just chug the drink I told you not to chug? And she's like, yeah, and I need another one. I'm like, bitch, what the hell? And then somehow we went to like Luke Combs or something. I don't know any of his music, but he was there. And I knew like one song because some guy that I was seeing was like really into him one time for some reason. I was a different person back then. And he really liked him, so I knew like one song from that time period, barely. And then he brought out Alex Warren, which was really exciting, and he sang The Ordinary, which I was so happy about. I think I was like crying. And my really drunk friend was like twerking on people again at Luke Combs. And it was funny. And she was still dropping her phone everywhere. And she had like dirt all over her hands. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah. As long as you're not being creepy to people, like, do whatever you want. But it was a really good time. And then we left to come back to my apartment. And I was so tired at this point because that was such a long day of drinking and, like, doing activities and just being outside. Like, I was wiped out. But I had a friend in town and she's like, can we please go out? Can we please go out? I'm like, and as we're walking home, my friend could like barely walk in a straight line. And also, by the way, I asked her if I could tell you guys all of this information and she was like, of course. So my friend can like barely walk in a straight line. And I'm like, if you can walk in a straight line without me holding on to your arm and keeping you up, like we can go out. And she's like, oh, I can do that for sure. So I was like, okay, if you're sure. And I let go of her for like 5 seconds and she ran into a cement wall. So we did not go out. We did not go out at all. We instead, on our walk home, passed this ramen place that we became obsessed with. And I think it is going to be my new hangover fix, cure, whatever the fuck. This ramen place, it's like a 10-minute walk from my apartment and it is so fucking good. It has to be like the best ramen I've ever had. We got it on Thursday. No, we got it on Wednesday because it was like the only thing open by the time my friend got here. And then while we were there, we saw that they're open till 2 a.m. serving food every single day, which is crazy. So when we were walking back from Lala, we were like passing it and we were like, holy shit, that ramen was like the best ramen I've ever had in my whole life. Like, we need to go sit down and we need to go back. So we went back and we got more ramen and it was so good. I got like some sort of chicken ramen. It was like had fried chicken on it with like a spicy broth. It was seriously so good. It was so good that we almost went back a third and a fourth time, but they were closed and they weren't taking orders anymore the third and fourth time that we went back. So, and then when we got back and we took off our shoes, I realized that like if I'm going to be walking that long at a festival, like I need to prioritize footwear. I was wearing just like these $30 Amazon shoes and I have a blister on my right foot on my pinky toe, literally like the size of my pinky toe, which I'm so sorry if this is like really disturbing information, but I was sending people pictures of it all day, which is probably even more disturbing and like didn't need to share that, but it is large, okay? I've literally never had a blister before. After I got this blister, I was like, I don't think I've ever had a blister before. And it's bigger than my fucking pinky toe. I don't know what to do about that, but I do know that I will never be wearing those shoes again. Because I think they gave me a blister last time I wore them, but not to this extent. Like, this blister is like spooky. And after all of that happened, I think we just like ate our ramen noodles and we went to bed and I was like, let's have a wholesome day the next day. I don't know if we did anything wholesome this whole weekend actually, if I'm being completely honest, but I was like, let's try to be wholesome. And we went to breakfast, we got pasta. We also ate like the most food I think I've ever eaten in a week. Like so much food, but it was so worth it because it was so good. Like I ate some of the best food I've had in Chicago this week, but so much of it. But we went to lunch or breakfast or like something along the lines of that. Okay, genuinely, why do men do that with their cars? Like, I feel like we've been making fun of men for doing that with their cars for years and they're still doing it. Like, is there any woman out there that is like thinking that it's attractive and hot to like rear up your engine like that? Because I feel like there's not. I feel like there is no one out there that is like, I would like that to be my husband. Like, if I was in that car, I'd be so embarrassed. Anyways, we went to like a lunch, brunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever you want to call it. And while we were sitting there, I don't know how I got drunk off wine, but I got drunk off wine. And I started looking up sidekicks near me. I was like, where is a sidekick? And we start walking towards like the Starbucks Reserve area on Michigan Ave. I don't know where we were going. I think we were doing our own little bar crawl. And as we're walking on the street, there's one of those signs that people do here where like sometimes people are selling like Bibles, sometimes people are selling like bracelets. But today there were these two ladies that were apparently sidekicks. And us having as much wine as we did, as we're walking by, we're like, oh my gosh, is this a sign from the universe that we are supposed to get our palms read? Is this a sign? And I'm like looking at them and I'm like, this girl looks like she is 15 years old, which no hate at all. Like, I'm sure you can be 15 and be a sidekick, but you know, I don't know. So we go up and we're like, how much is it? And she's like, it's $10 for a palm reading. So my friend goes first because I was like, honestly, like you go and let me know how it is. Because I've done like the tarot card readings and I'm into readings and stuff like that. Like I got my whole birth chart read last year and that was really interesting. And they like predicted how this year would go. And honestly, it's been pretty accurate so far. But I've never had a palm reading done. So I was like a little bit intrigued, but I was like, you should go first. So my friend goes first and I'm like watching her. I'm like, wow, they seem like she seems really into it. Like, I wonder what she's saying, because the lady was like, we have to do these separately, obviously, because the energies will get fucked up. I don't know. So, which honestly, in the nicest way possible, it didn't make any sense to me, because I was like, I feel like the energies are already messed up, because we're literally in the middle of the street and there are like 600 people over here. But I wasn't going to say that. But anyways, I'm saying it now. She goes, and I'm like in the corner just like looking at things, and then they finish the reading and I'm like looking at her like, was it legit? Like, is this worth my money, or like, should we leave and I don't get read? And she's like, oh my God, this was like the best reading I've ever had. I'm like, what? Like, are you being serious? Like, you can tell me the truth. Like, just whisper it to me if she was really asked. And she's like, it was so good. Like, this was one of the best readings. And I'm like, okay, well, what'd she say? And she's like, you should just get it done. Like, I'm going to go in the corner and I'm going to decompress what she just told me. Like, this was such a good reading. I need to go. I need to go decompress in the corner. Like, I'm just going to go really think about what she said, because it was so meaningful. So, like, with that kind of reaction, I was like, okay, fuck. I guess I'll go. Like, I hope that I have the same reaction. Like, that was a pretty intense reaction. So I'm like, okay, fine. You can read my little palms. And I mean, I don't know how palm reading works, but I'm pretty sure this was completely wrong. I thought when they read your palm, like, you know how we have lines on our palms, and there's like, apparently one's like your lifeline and one's like your marriage line, or like whatever the fuck. Like, I thought they like looked into that shit. This lady just has you put your palms together, and then she just was saying shit. And I wrote a few of them down, because she had you ask like one question to yourself and then one question out loud. And I can't even say the ones that I said, but I wrote down some of the things that she just started saying at me. Like, she would just look at your palm and she would be like, I'm picking up that you're going to be this. I'm picking up that this is going to happen. I'm picking up, like, that was what she would do. And mind you, this lady is like 15 years old. So I was like, what is this 15? Honestly, she might have not even been 15. She was probably like 13. But I think I was scaring her a little bit, because like, I feel like I scared the tarot card reader last time too, because I'm like looking at them like read my mind. But let me just read some of the things that this woman told me. She told me, well, she looked me in the eyes and she's like, do you want to know when you're going to die? And I was like, like, I guess, like I guess that's fine. Apparently, I'm going to die at 83 years old. That is what she told me. She told me that I'm going to have two girls. She told me that I'm being proposed to in 2027. Right when she said that, I was like, get the fuck out of my face. Just kidding. I would never say that to a 15-year-old. And then she told me that I'm getting married in 2028. She told me that I am going to become a journalist and that I'm going to write a book about someone else's life. She's like, you will not be writing a book about your own life. You're going to write a book about somebody else's life. I was like, what? I have never written a book or had like any interest in writing a book. Maybe when I was like 5, or it was probably like a passing thought, like, I should write a book, but like, it's never been a true thought, and it's never been about someone else's life. Like, whose life? I needed like more details. She also told me that the man that I'm going to marry has brown hair that he dyes red. And honestly, right when she said that, which no hate to men that have brown hair and dye it red, but immediately when she said that, I was like, can I be done here? Like, okay, I don't care anymore. Which, like, has anyone else gotten a palm reading and you've just been offended by everything she said? Like, why was I offended by everything? I was like, this is such bullshit. Like, what do you mean? Like, she wasn't even reading my palms. She was just, like, picking up things about me that apparently she was, like, envisioning for me. I don't know. It felt offensive. But there were, like, a couple other things that I'm forgetting, because after the red hair thing, like, I was just completely zoned out. Like, I was like, get this over with. And my friend was like, how was your reading? Like, I just really thought about everything she went over with me. And I'm like, that was the biggest bullshit I've ever encountered. What the fuck was that? And she's like, what? And then I'm like, what'd she tell you? And we were like going through it. And she like basically told us the same things, but like a little bit different. She told her she's dying at 88. I forget what her husband looks like. She's apparently having 2 boys. She's getting married in like 2030. Like, what? I feel like I should start doing that. Like, I should put up a little sign that says psychic, and then, like, I have some crystals. They had crystals, and, like, just start saying shit to people. Like, at the bar. I feel like I could make some money doing this. At the bar, I could be like, I'm a palm reader. Do you want me to read your palm? Do you want to know when you want to die? 76. And just, like, envision it, you know? I feel like people would eat that shit up. Just like my friend ate that shit up on Michigan Avenue. But, you know, maybe it was legit, and maybe that is all going to happen. But I just feel like I'm not getting proposed to in 2027 because that is like a little soon. That's a little soon. I don't even think if someone proposed to me in 2027, I would say yes. But yeah, I just feel like if that even happened, I would be a little confuzzled, but I don't know. I told someone this story and they were like, why would you trust a psychic on the side of the road? I'm like, you should have heard how passionate my friend was about this, okay? My friend said this changed her fucking life. So yeah, I was passionate about it. Then we went to like some other bars. I think we just kept climbing to bars, and bars were appearing and going, and we had frosé, and we had some sake drink, and so many drinks were had. And this is when I entered my flip-flop era, which I'm still in my flip-flop era because I think eras are like a long time, and I'm going to be in it for a long time. I love flip-flops all of a sudden. And you know why I love flip-flops all of a sudden? It's because of the fucking blister that is on my right pinky toe. Shoes were hurting me so bad that I was like, I must wear flip-flops. And I was wearing flip-flops everywhere, which was completely chill during the day. But then I wore flip-flops out to a club. I genuinely didn't think they would let me up on this rooftop club thing because it just seemed like you couldn't wear flip-flops up there. But then they let me up. And someone actually complimented my outfit. And this was like the first time that someone complimented me. And I was like, are you lying to me? I was wearing an okay outfit. I was wearing, I guess, kind of a questionable outfit, honestly, and flip-flops. And she was like, I love your outfit. And I was like, really? And she was like, yes. And I was like, even the flip-flops? And she was like, I was going to say that the flip-flops are the best part about it. And I was like, are you lying? And she said she wasn't lying, but I don't know why I just could not believe that anyone could like the outfit on my body. Which maybe that's fucked up. You know, next time I should probably just be like, thank you, miss. Miss. I've never called anyone miss. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Okay, wait. This saying miss just like gave me a flashback to like men that I used to text. I feel like all men, literally all men, when they're trying to hit on you, like, why do they call you ma'am? I'm like actually having 20 flashbacks to different text messages of men being like, yes, ma'am. How are you doing, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Where do you want to go for dinner, ma'am? What's your favorite color, ma'am? How are you today, ma'am? I have so many of those like going through my head right now. If you're a man and you use the word ma'am on every woman, like everyone's doing that. I feel like they say that because they think it's like special or like mature or something, but like honestly it's not, and I kind of hate it. But I entered my flip-flop era, and there were Italian men at the bar that I became absolutely obsessed with. They said they worked in fashion and they were visiting from Italy, and they said they liked my outfit. I also don't believe them, but they had really cute outfits on, and we all took tequila shots. And then we ventured downstairs to like this little bar that was downstairs, and it was hidden. And this is where things get questionable. Things get interesting. Not too interesting. There was just like music and people, and we were all dancing, and I don't know why, but every time I went to order a tequila shot at the bar, they gave me it for free. I don't know what the hell was happening, but also like they should not have been doing that because I took full advantage of that. The first time I was like, we will do a round of tequila shots. And the guy brought them over, and then he was like, it's on the house. And I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. Thank you. And we took them. And then I made like a new friend and I was like, let's take tequila shots. We go back up to the bar. I'm like, we'll have 2 tequila shots. He gives them to me and he's like, it's on me. I'm like, okay, like what the hell? Then like some time goes by and like we went and got another one. And he was like, don't worry about it. I'm like, what? And then like now I'm thinking like, was it water? But it definitely wasn't water. Because of my actions later, it was not water. I like feel like there might have been even a 4th that I didn't drink. And he was like, you can just have it. Like, why was he just giving me and whoever was with me free shots? Like, does he always do that? Because if he always does that, I need to go back there every single weekend. I don't even know what this bar is called, but it was on the rooftop of a hotel. And I love it there because of that bartender. I think the bartender upstairs was the vibe too. But, ooh, also this day we met up with a man that my friend who was visiting met last year when she came, like last August. Don't know where we met him. I feel like they might have met on Hinge, but I'm not actually sure. And we went out with him like 2 times, and then they've been in contact like this whole time basically. And we met up with him and he was there for these tequila shots and the dancing on the floor. He was a big dancer. He was dancing everywhere. I feel like he was doing the splits at one point. Yeah. I don't know what I was doing. Like whenever I'm out with like a couple, I'm either extremely bored and like, not that they're a couple, they're not dating, but like they do give each other the goo goo eyes. But whenever I'm like third wheeling like this, I'm either like so bored out of my mind. Like I'm like, I literally want to be away from a couple so badly right now. Like I don't want to be around this. I do not want a third wheel. Or I'm in like a really good mood and I like go talk to everyone in the bar, you know? It just depends on if I'm in the mood to socialize or if I'm not. It could go either way. And then we basically ended our weekend in Chinatown where I got these little things called Sunny Angels. And I have literally been wanting these for so long because I've seen them all over TikTok. And then we went to Chinatown and I was like, holy fucking shit, they have these here. And I got one that is a strawberry baby and it is stuck to my computer now. It's like crawling over my work monitor. Obsessed. And then I got one that is like a little bear or something. And I'm obsessed, and like I honestly fear that I shouldn't have known that they sold them there because they had like every collection ever you could ever think of. I'm also going to be wanting to go to Chinatown a lot more often now too because everything we ate there was so fucking good. I got a salmon roll, some like noodle soup that the server recommended, and then soup dumplings. And it was so good. And I wish I got boba, but like I sometimes don't like to eat like warm and delicious like soupy food with like a sweet boba drink. Like I feel like they don't mix well sometimes for me. But I love them both so much. That was my 6 day, whatever amount of days that I said earlier. That was what went down. I feel like this was the calmest I might have ever spoken in my whole life. I feel like I had so much energy not this morning. Maybe this afternoon I had some like energy and then I ate all the dip and now I'm like so tired. And I think also because I'm literally staring at all of the laundry that I need to put away and everything that I need to do in my room to make it look like someone lives in here is making me exhausted because I know it's gonna take so long to do. But my friend left and then I literally went to therapy like an hour after she left. Like she got on a plane and then I went to my therapist. So that was kind of interesting. I was like, I guess I'll just decompress my whole weekend with my therapist right now. Just kidding. We actually had a really good conversation and I was really sad afterwards. But anyways, I hope everyone had such an amazing week and I hope everyone has such an amazing upcoming week. And I'm sorry if how slow I'm talking put you to sleep, but that's what the fuck is up. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.